Hi mom, good morning. Welcome for today's session. So in the last class we learned about 5 styles, architecture styles. One is filters and pipes. One more is abstract types. One more is event-based implicit invocation. One more is repository style, and last one is layered style. Okay. Today we came to end of the unit 2, and we are going to learn about a new style, architecture style called as interpreter style. See, can you imagine a system or any language without an interpreter? Just imagine ourselves, we used to talk in English. The system can able to understand only binary language, zeros and ones. But how this conversion is going to be happen so that the machine able to understood our language and the machine can respond or communicate with us without any problem with us, and machine also not creating any problem to us. How? Okay, so this is a methodology. These are the methodologies by which the user feeling very convenient and very friendly nature. So, namely, as we have two types of concepts which converts our language to machine language and machine language to our language. So, those are nothing but the interpreters and compilers. Okay, so between these two, which is the best means, they have their own features, they have their own advantages and the disadvantages. But coming to the interpreter style, it will give the accurate style a little bit more than compiler. Why means the interpreter will check or convert or interpret line by line. So it will not move ahead. Whenever there is a problem in one line, it will not move any other second line. So that is the advantage with our interpreter. So here also we have interpreter style, in which we have two main things we have to remember, which is one is a component, one more is a connect as usual. So where we have to use the interpreter? We have to use the interpreter whenever there is a two different sources or feeling problem or bearing problem with two different technologies, two different conventions. Okay, so and we can't communicate directly with them. Then it is so. Then at that time we need interpreter. Right, ma? See this here. So suitable for applications in which the most appropriate language or machine for executing the solution is not directly available. Yes, we just said. So we are in one form, system is in another form. We can't able to communicate directly. Then we have to use a interpreter style. Okay. So what are the main components we have? We have only one component, one and only component we have, that is one state machine. One state machine. So it contains all information. All information means what is the present state of the data, what program you want to convert, what is the present state of the program, what is the present state of the interpreter, and what can be the output state of the interpreter after converting. Okay, so all this information is available in the one state machine. It is one and only component who is going to maintain all this information. Okay, see these ones. So what it contains? The current state of the execution engine, program being interpreted, current state of the program being interpreted. So what is your program? What is the state of the program? What is the state of your interpreter? What data you want to execute? So all these can be stored at one place called as one state machine, which is our component in interpreter style. Coming to the connectors, what are the connectors, ma? Always connectors be either the processor calls or the memory. The processor call is one program is invoking or initiating another program. The memory is nothing but the memory will store the common data. by which one is going to interact with the memory, have to access the data and have to get the data. Right? So all these can be happen, that is interface is going to happen with the help of the memory. So these nothing but our components. Let us see. Connectors. Connectors. So one is a processor call, one more is a direct memory access. If you observe this diagram, the inputs of a program is nothing but the data, depends upon your requirement. The data is going to store where? The memory itself. So this memory data is going to be accessing by our program to be interpreted. Okay, whenever there is a interpretation of this program, who will do this? Who will do this? He is internal interpreter is going to be do. Okay, after performing this, it is going to maintain some state. It is going to maintain some state. Okay, so based upon the state after interpretation, we have a simulated interpretation engine. It will give the final outcome or the representation which can map or matches to us or system. Okay, so what happens? Initially our data is going to be stored in the memory. In that memory we have a program also to be interpreted. After that we have an internal interpreter which is going to take the present state of the program and the data. It will interpret that and it will give our output, that is simulated outputs. We have to use a simulated. Why? It is not final output, it is matched output to us. It is a matched output to us which can be. Okay, so some final output is there. It is going to convert the final output in terms of our language and it is present to us. If that is so, it is called as a simulation which can be mapping or matched to our environment. Okay, right. Next, so what is the interpreter contains? Every interpreter contains a program only. Program only. What is a program? Nothing but which is nothing but to interpret, which contains some engine. Engine means it's a lot of instructions to convert our representation. Okay, so a pseudocode. Pseudocode means a set of instructions to execute. A pseudocode includes a program and the activation record. What is activation record? The current state of each and every aspect of your program. So what is the state can be? What type of data you have given? What is the program you want to implement? Which one you want to interpret? Who is going to be interpreted? When it is going to be interpreted? What is the present state of the output? So these are all available. These are all taken by this pseudocode program state. And finally, what is the interpretation engine contains? It contains a definition of the interpreter. Means what interpreter is going to done and what is the state of its execution. So this engine will maintain all the information regarding the code which you want to write for this conversion and what is the state of execution of the conversion. Coming to the interpreter styles examples, we have a lot of things we can discuss. C language or C++ language, we have a Java, Perl, Python, we have every language has some interpreter. Without interpreter or compiler we can't execute today languages because they are the things who will convert. Okay, right. So programming language compilers, nothing but language compilers, programming language examples. These are a small list of examples I have taken. Java, Smalltalk, rule based, only rules it will take and it will convert. One is a Prolog, one more is a Coral. The last one scripting languages, AWK, that is Unix or Linux, Perl. So these are nothing but the examples for our interpreters or compilers. Okay, now what are the advantages with this? So you see, it is not advantages, it is a very fortunate thing. Without them, can we execute our program of our own? Can you give the language of machine understandable thing? No, we can't give. So that's why we need interpreter. Yes. Simulation of non-implemented hardware. Yes. So whatever hardware we need, whatever the hardware supports, which may not able to executable by us, automatically these interpreters will convert that concept into machine language. Okay, facilitates portability of application or languages across a variety of platforms. Yes, portability issue only. So any language can take by these interpreters and they can convert. without considering the hardware information. So what type of processor you are going to use, what type of memory you are going to use, how you are going to store, okay, what is the storage pattern you want to do. It doesn't make any matter to us. Just have an interpreter with you and have a just output with you. That's it. Okay, portability, right? But coming to the disadvantages, see, whenever there is a need of a conversion from one form to another, automatically it will take some time. See, one person is there, one mediator is there between A and B. A is going to convey some information to the mediator. The mediator have to analyze that, what the A is conveying to him. He analyzed that, he understood that, and he have to convey the same to the B. So after receiving the data from A, it will take 1 minute, for example, and understanding and presenting take 1 minute, and finally conveying the same to the B, it will take 1 more minute. So how many minutes we want? 3 minutes we want. If A and B are able to communicate directly, it will take only 1 minute time. So 2 minutes is going to be required more whenever there is a mediator between us. So here also, whenever there is a conversion from one form to another, automatically it will slow down some execution of the process. But we don't have any alternative also. So we have to go on with the interpreters, right? See, for example, the Java has an option to compile a code. Yes, even the Java is a superb language, even though we have some converters to get some bytecode. So without that we can't do. The bytecode only any system can in any system we can run the code. The portability is there, right? Then it is called the just-in-time compiler. What is this compiler, ma? Just-in-time, right? So this is the end of our unit, ma. Unit 2 is over. So I just repeat the previous styles. The first style is what? Filter and what is pipe and filter. The filter is a component, pipe is a connector, abstract data types. In this, object is a component and operators or the functions or connectors. Next, event based, the constraints. Whenever the constraints are occurring, then only something will happen. Next one is the layered architecture. The total functionality is divided in terms of separate functionalities. Next one is the repository. The central repository will help to access to communicate with each other, and finally there is the interpreter. Okay, now so these are the styles, architecture styles in the software architecture. Okay, so hope you revise all these videos once and have a better knowledge on this, right, ma? So I will wind up this class for today. Have a nice day. Bye.